Hi guys, Editing Steph here. I just want to jump on and welcome you to Vlogmas Day 23. The intro for my video got cut off when I recorded, and also to apologise for the sound quality. I do not have proper sound recording when I'm doing voiceovers, and I'm not using my normal camera and mic, so I apologise, the sound quality is not what it would normally be, but hopefully you can still get the general idea of the reading spreadsheet that I'm about to show you. So we're just going to have to bear with that. So I apologise in advance, but hopefully you will still be able to see and hear and find out about my 2021 reading spreadsheet perfectly fine. Today I'm going to be sharing my 2021 reading spreadsheet with you, but I'm going to start off showing you how it sort of came together. In, I believe, September this year, I decided to switch from using Brock's reading spreadsheet template, which is what I've used for the last few years, and start trying to create my own. I like things with a bit of color, so that's sort of what I was going for. What you can see on the screen now is the acquisitions page, which I do like to track the books that I purchase, and I use the status of them to do my book haul revisited series. So what you can see is the acquisitions from October 2020, but this is the basic premise of it. So it has the date acquired, the title, if it's part of a series, the series title, who the author is, the publisher, the format, the length, the location, where I purchased it from, how was it acquired, was it new or used, what cost was associated with it, and whether or not it's complete. And then over on the side, I just have a book status list. In the status menu, I can obviously have a drop-down menu. It has read, reread, DNF, currently reading, or returned unread, and it does track it over on the side there. Along the bottom, you'll see my reading log, which, as I said, I started this in the middle of, well, towards the end of September. And it's very similar. I have a month column and then a start and finish date. I like to be able to just see at a glance which month everything was in rather than trying to look through all of the dates. So that's just a preference of mine. So it is an extra column in there, but people can choose to take it or leave it really. The book title, the status of the book. So was it a read, a reread? Was it a DNF, currently reading, or returned unread? I don't always use the DNF or the returned unread in this particular spreadsheet, usually because I just don't include them, but I know some people like to track those sorts of things, so they're in there. Again, whether it's a series, and I just like to do that just to see what is part of the series and what isn't, and then the series title and the number. Again, there is the author, the year, the publisher, how many pages, because I do track page count, the length of the title, what the rating was, the readership age for the book, what format was the book read in. Then I have genre, and I also have sub-genre. So I sort of stuck to big categories for genre, and then underneath in sub-genre, you can sort of go in and you can add in quite specific sub-genres. Same thing with diversity, sort of the main diverse categories, I suppose, and then you can break it down even further in the subcategory section. And if we scroll across, the thing that I really wanted to include in my personal spreadsheets from now on were tropes or keywords. And you'll see that this looks slightly different in the 2020 reading spreadsheet. So I have a huge list of tropes or keywords, and I use them to track up to 3 per book. And that just means if I want to do a recommendations video or someone asks for a recommendation, I can do a really quick find and search for all of these things, which makes me quite happy. And then I have the country that the book was published in. I have a section for trigger warnings that I can just type in and/or notes. I've also got a section just to tick if it's a book that I'm reviewing on my blog. That's just for my personal records, as well as a drop-down menu for readathons. And then you also have a section to include your readathon prompts. There is also a series tracker, which I didn't start using this year, but I may use next year. I just included it because I know some people like to track their series. There is a DNF tracker, which I've only sporadically used. Clearly, I've only included one, but I've DNF'd more books than that this year. The summary page has stats for some of the categories. I don't like to track absolutely everything. I don't actually use it. So I do track total pages read, total books acquired, and total books read. I also have how many books I read each month, as well as how many pages were read each month. I track the readership audience, the star ratings, the main category of genres read, the audience, the diverse representation in books, and then there are a couple of graphs that are associated with those tables. And then I do have a section to include favorite reads. I haven't included all of them on this particular spreadsheet because I've been tracking them somewhere else, but next year I'll include them in here. And then the last tab is all of the categories for the drop-down menus. So you can actually go in and add to any of these and it will add them to the menu. I've made sure to include the entire column so you can add as much as you like to it. So now if I switch to the 2021 reading spreadsheet, I'll show you the things that are a little bit different. First things first, I will leave a link to this if you would like to use it and save your own copy. You absolutely can. Just please save your own copy. So go File, I think you'll have Make a Copy, and then it will save it to your Google Drive so that you're not editing this master one for everyone. So in acquisition, same thing, you have the date. So if you double click on it, it will bring up the date menu. So you can click on that. You can include the title of the book, whether it's a series title, who the author is, the publisher. This is pretty much the same. I don't think it has changed, except this time I have included the cost, the list price, and the savings, which is something I only just figured out how to do. So that's in there as well. And the book status is still on the side. The reading log is more or less the same. So you have the month, the start and finish dates. So these will actually open up the calendars, whereas the month will just give you a drop down. It's up to you whether you want to use it, but this does track the number of books read in each month. So just be aware of that. There is the status. So is it a book that you've read, a reread? Are you currently reading it? So on and so forth. I've got the series title and number, so you can just type in the series title and whichever number of the book it is, the author, the year that it was published, who the publisher is, so you can see there are a couple in there, but you can always add. There is the length of the book. You can type in your pages and this will get tracked. There is your rating, so there are full stars and half star ratings, no rating or DNF if rating is your thing. There is your readership age, your format of the book, genre and subgenre, diversity and diverse subcategories, and then tropes and keywords. And again, you can go in, edit or delete as you see fit. There is a drop-down menu for your countries. There is space for your trigger warnings and notes. You can put in whether or not it's a review copy, put in whether or not it's for a readathon, and also whatever your readathon prompt is. So that's the main reading tracker, I suppose. You have your series tracker, which is exactly the same as my current one. There is the DNF tracker as well. I didn't include too much in this. It's more just the month that you read it, the book title, who the author was, how many pages you actually read, and then you can just type in the reason if that's something that you like to keep track of. The summary is exactly the same. And you can edit this if you want to use it as well. I'm not precious about it. And here are the categories. So this is where you would type in any extra categories you want in the drop-down menus. So if you wanted to say that you acquired a book, so one of the bookstores here in Australia is Dymocks, you can type it in there, and in the drop-down menu that'll appear. If you do want to have it in alphabetical order, because like me, you like things being in alphabetical order, you just go sort range, and it'll sort it into alphabetical order. Same thing with countries, which is not in alphabetical order. I'm not sure why, but let's do it now. So we'll just sort the range, and it will resort it. So that is my 2021 reading spreadsheet, or what I'm planning on using. I may tweak it throughout the year. However, as I said, I will leave a link to this in the description box if this is something that you would like to use. Again, just save your own copy. You are more than welcome to it. And yeah, this has been working for me for the last couple of months. I've been really happy with it, and the colors just do make me happy. I'm a colorful person. A lot of spreadsheets are quite gray or just standard. I like to have color in my life. Feel free to ask any questions down below. I know particularly in the summary page, there may be some typos here or there. You can let me know and I'll try and figure it out. I'm still pretty new to using Google Sheets and Excel and anything like that. That's not my normal platforms for using, but I have been trying to learn code mostly through looking at other spreadsheets and doing YouTube searches. So obviously feel free to adjust as you see fit. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you are staying safe and healthy, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye, everyone.